Hey guys, this is Warwick from Casual Chess, back for another 5-minute game today. Looks like I'm playing black against an opponent from the United States. He opens with e4, we play e5, and let's get into it. Nf3 from my opponent, we'll play the Petrov's defense. Okay. To be expected, we'll play d6. Getting these bishops into the game now, and in light of the previous game we've played, I think we might play something a bit more passively today. Unless we see the opportunity to go for a couple of striking moves, of course, but we'll see how it plays out. Bit of a slow development here. Queen d7. F4 from my opponent. I must say I don't like that move there, but I don't see it being a major threat. I won't ignore it for the moment, because ignoring it would lead to f5, which would trap my bishop in and force it to be taken somewhere. So we will take there. He takes f4. And now nd4. Maybe I can deal with that pesky bishop there on the e2 square. Okay, my opponent plays nf3, allowing me to take his knight instead. I don't think I'm going to do that. I will take and take d2 check. And now time for something aggressive. I know I said I was going to play passively, but I saw this opportunity, so I'm going to go for it. Take 2 pawns there by sacrificing a bishop. And okay, my opponent wants to deal with me with his queen. We'll take that queen, get that off the board. And a bit of a high risk situation for him there, I think. And h5, threatening the bishop there. f5, another aggressive move. I want to open up the f file for my rooks to come squeezing down. Okay. Takes, rook takes f5. Nothing worrying me too much here. After nd4, I'm going to drop my rook to e5. That protects the e6 square from his knight. Okay. Get my other rook into the game here, even if it means back taking with the bishop there on the f8 square. Pretty even on the board, except my opponent is going to have some difficulty dealing with the threats that I'm making here. I do have extra pawns down the king side. We'll get rid of that rook off the board actually. Get my king into the game now. King f7, mainly to prevent him from moving his knight to the e6 square, which I didn't have covered by any other means at the moment. Now, how I lock down this game is going to be the question. nf4 check. I will need some pieces to retain my momentum down the board. So I'm not ready to throw away pieces yet. Now the question is going to be e6 or d5. e6 gives him the opportunity to take. Knight d5. Okay, my opponent has a slight time advantage, but I think I've got him under pressure a bit here. c5 now, dealing with the bishop threat, the knight threat that's currently sitting on d4. move that was to be expected. I'm going to kick his knight around a bit. And I think I stuffed that up. Awful play. How am I supposed to defend this pawn that's currently on c4? There's no way that I can see. Sorry, c5. We'll play c4. He will unfortunately take. Oh, d4. He doesn't take. We don't have the opportunity to take en passant. That's interesting, but where to next? It's got to be time now to advance down the board. g5 to put some pressure on my opponent here. h5. I'm figuring that I can put pressure on my opponent and lead to an error perhaps. ne4, king f5. Running up the board now. And g3, dropping back to king g6. Okay, now a decision to be made. h4. We'll sacrifice the knight currently on the d5 square. I don't think that's the best move, but I was going to suggest we'll see if my opponent falls for it. He does not. He drops back to nf and h1, preventing my pawn from advancing down the board there. A piece sacrifice now against some of my pawns might not go amiss for my opponent. nd3 threatening the pawn on the b2 square. There may be a way for me to come back out of this. I do not see it at the moment though. Okay. I want to take that with my king, but that's not going to be viable. We've got nd4, but after nd4 we have d7. Simply not viable. We'll have to drop back to the f7 square. The hope for me now is a mistake from my opponent. Something that I do not see coming. Nonetheless, we're going to have to try and accelerate towards a mistake. Please d7 now. After d7, check. Okay. I don't know why I was really hoping for that. It's a bit of a fail here. Did not calculate that correctly, and there's no way for me to win this game now. I'm going to resign there. Good play from my opponent. Poor play from me, especially towards the end of the game. Simply did not pay attention to the moves I should have been making. Right back to, I think it was about here, a little bit further back. I sacrificed a piece by mistake. Sorry, a pawn by mistake. This pawn on d6, which was crucial to holding down my structure, I simply played g3 rather than playing something like king to e6, which would have been far, far superior. Okay, obviously he's lining up on that d square, and yes, after something like this, we've got issues. But there's no way out really after this. If my opponent takes the the bishop on the f8 square, we can retake. We'll lose that pawn anyway, but maybe we're a bit more stable from there. Alternatively, if he chooses not to take, drops back. This is the move we have available, king g6. double attacking the knights on the g5 and f5 square. Okay guys, you can probably tell I'm actually getting a little bit tired today. I might quit the games for the moment. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you didn't, please let me know what I could do to improve, and I'll work on that for you. Hopefully tomorrow we have a bit more of a comeback and we get back up for that 1400 rating. So, alright, I will see you guys in the next one, and hopefully you enjoyed, even though that was a bit of an implosion. Alright, catch you later. Bye.